Hello everybody, Zeidoktor here, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review is a bit of a belated review focused on Akame Got Killed, Chapter 77, Kill Esdeath. We're still at it. And the chapter opens with Akame having channeled the full power of her sword, Murasame. Esdeath noticing that she's strengthening herself with the curse's power. How quaint. Looks like this may just turn into an entertaining fight after all. At this point, Esdeath declares that all the other enemies are in her way. But even as she's getting ready to get rid of one guy, Akame's like right behind her, getting ready to slash at her. Even Esdeath is shocked by the speed. Of course, Akame declares that Esdeath's the one in the way of the new world they're trying to usher through. And Esdeath knows that Akame has apparently discarded her very humanity. The fight continues, like just kind of some back and forth down here. Among other things, she's able to break a weapon Esdeath grabbed and tried to use against her. Esdeath's ecstatic, like, now this is what I've truly yearned for. As you know, I'm using manga string here, and it actually says, quote, I've truly yearned for. Good work, guys. Akame jumps out and dodges the big old... We start being able to dodge a bunch of ice being thrown at her. Esdeath's trying to get her to dodge in midair without being able to fly. Akame just jumping from ice block to ice block, getting in closer. Esdeath's noted that Akame's apparently become quite accustomed to Oh, I'm sorry, I'm mixing dialogue up here. It's Akame you're talking. You've become quite accustomed to coming up with emergency treatment on the spot, even without stopping time. You managed to attend to that wound in mere moments. Apparently in reference to another attack Akame managed to land. You've been called the Master of Torture, and up until this point you've scarred and engraved agony into the bodies of countless lives. So consider this penance, as now you shall be the one who is abused and tormented. Esdeath just scoffs at what she thinks is an attempt to get a rise out of her with just hollow threats. And her shot at a counterattack is just literally just waved away by Akame. A back attack is... She does manage a back attack, and she actually seals them up in a big old little, a bunch of ice spikes around the little arena. Outside of that wall, Najenda takes command and orders everybody to take formation and surround it. And if Esdeath's the one that comes out there alive, they'll have to... And if she's the one that comes out there alive, we'll be the one to take Esdeath's head. Because she knows that Akame's power-up is... While extreme, it will only last for a short amount of time, and she's not sure if it will even be enough. And yeah, Esdeath's just having the time of her life, which causes Akame to just chew her out for thinking that it's fun. It's fun. I've never understood your train of thought, you goddamn war beast. Killing you will bring happiness to the people of this country. I've held steadfast to that one belief, and it's never faltered all this time. Someone like you talks about slaughter, massacre, and torture as if it were nothing more than self-amusement. You must be put down, and I will be the one to do it. Of course, Esdeath's response is basically a rain of icicles that, because of the confined space, Akame cannot dodge. She does try to block him with her sword, but it's not enough. She once again tries jumping around, pulling a Bellamy to get some momentum, but Esdeath's just able to block with a big old block of ice. And Akame realized that she's buying herself way too much time with her ice defense, because she's freezing everything around them little by little. I was surprised she can even be that agile in the extreme cold, excuse me. But so blows are still being traded, they're still fighting. And Akame knows she can't maintain this level of power for much longer, so she's got to settle it with her next move. And Esdeath recognizes that this is mustering the strength for her final boost. Of course, her response to get ready for that is a big old thing of ice armor that, as we know, armored opponents are Akame's weakness. And this is oh yeah, the look on your face, that is just priceless. Of course, Akame knows that while she's a lot better defended, she has sacrificed mobility. And she tries to go for a back attack to get Esdeath from behind, but Esdeath just breaks out of the armor quickly enough to not only catch Murasame in her bare hands with a barehanded blade block, but she also freezes and breaks the sword entirely. So that's a thing. Let's see here. It's being a bit slow here. So, Akame, okay, phase load here. Akame's reaction, grab Esdeath's own sword, get her rapier, and just try again. Esdeath's just scoffing at this, like she's pouring every last ounce of her strength in this final attack. Too bad for her, I'll be able to dodge it. What Esdeath does not see coming is Akame using the rapier to stab at the hilt of her own sword, Murasame, and send that broken piece of sword right into Esdeath's heart. Now, a nice little spread of that kind of going through. I don't know if it's supposed to be like an impact or if it's actually going through her, but either way, end result is the same. And that sword is in her heart now. It's like, let's see you heal your way out of that. And as that just drops, it's like she realized that she let her focus slip after shattering Murasame. And Akame knows she also underestimated how much energy she exhausted during her fights against everyone else. That's what tipped the scales and allowed Akame to come out victorious. Even with all that strength of yours, with just that alone, in the end, it wasn't enough to save you. And then up in the air, Esdeath manages to catch sight of Tatsumi, realizes that he's still alive. Of course, after all, Akame says he has people waiting for his return. Esdeath knows that she's lost, but she manages to get herself back to her feet, declares that now I die. And she starts encasing herself in ice at this point. Like she's thinking to herself, I lived my life, getting everything I ever wanted, and yet, you never once turned to really look at me, did you? Thinking of Tatsumi. That is my last and only regret, Tatsumi. So, the ice wall breaks forward, Akame is still standing, and Esdeath is gone. Looks like she cased herself in ice and shattered herself, because looks like because on one page it looks like she's in ice, but the next page she's nowhere to be seen. But at this point, Akame declares mission complete. And apparently, Tatsumi... Oh, yep. Yeah, she's been shattered into pieces now. It's like, well done, Akame. It's agenda. Like, with her reduced to pieces, it's all but a formality now. Akame acknowledged that she couldn't have done it without everyone's sacrifices, so it wasn't just my strength alone. Including Tatsumi. Somehow... And Nintendo knows that somehow through it all, he's still okay. It may have been because he was incarnated into that dragon, but when I touched Tatsumi's body, I could feel two life forces. One was powerful, but the other felt so weak it was as ready to disappear at any moment. So when I stabbed him, I made sure just to kill the powerful life force. The doctor there's like surprised he could even discern something like that, but when the subject is killing, Akame's confidence is unwavering. Teachers never imagined her skill would be useful in a way like that. And Doctor knows that even with all that, there's no way to guarantee that Tatsumi would have come out of it unhurt, so that was indeed one hell of a kill. And that just proves why she was the most worthy and fitting wielder of that cursed blade. And here I was, unable to do a single thing for him. Fortunately, what he can do is at least make sure that Tatsumi is kept healthy in that form. Even in that form, that won't be an issue. Not much, but please allow me to be of some use. At this point, we learn Tatsumi is actually not only conscious, but able to speak. Like he's just happy to be alive. And he gives Akame his thanks, and says that they can finally go home. Akame knows that we did make a promise after all. You said you wouldn't die. I was just making sure you kept it. And Tatsumi knows that, it's weird. Even though I don't know if the expression is actually different, you can actually tell that the dragon form, when Tatsumi's in control, is actually legitimately smiling. But anyway, that promise, with the death of the Empire's strongest, everyone felt that the war was finally coming to its end. But, mood killer, we not only are reminded that Prime Minister Honest is still alive, but the next page is almost comical with the way he's running. And he's like, just imagine the fat man trying to run as fast, like doing a sprint, and you pretty much got the idea. Hey, hey, hey. The man is still alive, and he's like just shocked because they even got to Esdeath. Well, he's not unprepared for this. He's got a secret passageway to ensure his escape. No one will ever be able to bring judgment on me. And it is here, the evil that the heavens cannot judge will be dealt with in the darkness. And right behind him is a long-haired, very large, like a muscular, long-haired figure. And that is where the chapter ends. And first of all, when it comes to anybody who thought Leon was dead, who thought Leon was still alive, I acknowledge that you were absolutely right. I thought she was dead. I thought she was bisected, but here she is, ready to finish the job. Oh yeah, the chapter also notes that the Jaegers are all eliminated, with Raven Kurome having escaped. I want to say one thing about this, how this fight finished off, is that I'm actually a little disappointed, because in the end, Esdeath got the fight she wanted. To me, like, it almost like she gets, in a way, even though she died, she almost wins in a way. Her only regret is not getting Tatsumi. So, I don't know. It's like, but to me, like I said, I've said plenty of times before, to me, the biggest way to just hurt Esdeath, like the best way to take her down, would be to actually kill her without giving her a fight in some way. I know, given the nature of the series and her raw power and all that stuff, it's pretty much impossible for it to actually come through. But that's what I would have liked to see. Like, she's a fight maniac, kill her without fighting her. That is like the worst thing you could probably have done to her. But otherwise, it was a pretty awesome conclusion. I'm sorry if I came off a little monotone reading it off there. It's like just kind of trying to get through it on there. It's like just kind of getting these things out quickly. So I apologize for that. But I apologize if it came out a bit flat. It was a fun chapter though. Like you said, you see Akame just like jumping around all over the place with her agility, like just jumping around on her projectiles, like, or just bouncing around Bellamy style when as that tries to enclose the battlefield. It gets some pretty cool scenes in that. But I do like the way that it actually does kind of finish off here with the actual act of breaking Murasame actually being factored into how she wins. I doubt it was actually a plan, but it was still a really good shot. And we have Tatsumi, but he appears to be stuck as a dragon now. So it probably won't be returned to human form anytime soon. Can't help but wonder how Mine will react to that if and when she wakes up. Yep, and then as for the finale, like I said, I mean, I thought she was wrong. Leon was dead. I was just dead wrong on that one. She is, I mean, if that's not her, I don't know who else it could be. Getting ready to pounce on Honest from behind. I will say, though, that Honest's reappearance there is like a complete mood killer. Not because of the whole, oh god, it's finally over, and then this asshole's still alive. It's more in the big, tense, dramatic moment. Fat man sprinting. I mean, seriously. That's almost comical the way he looks. Well, no, it's not almost comical. It is comical. It's just ridiculous. At least I don't know what's going to happen with Tatsumi here, but at the very least it looks like next chapter is going to be focused on dealing with Honest once and for all. I wonder if anybody else will even know what happened. I mean, because everyone's feeling that it's all over, but it's like, we got him still, but at the same time he's like around deep underground, no witnesses, no nothing. So I sincerely wonder if anybody will even know he's been taken out. Because I guess it depends on whether or not Leon survives the experience, to be honest. Because that's going to be where the difference gets made. Like, if she survives, she can at least report that it's been done. But I don't know. I mean, maybe she was interested enough that she's, like, on her last leg, like, focused on completing her promise to Akame to finish her kill. I don't know. A couple of ways that could go, I guess. But every way I can think of would still end in Honest's death. Doesn't matter, just the difference of whether or not it'll be a double knockout or not. So this is like we're definitely coming up on a conclusion here. Like I said, we're a little bit away, and so far not everybody's dead. So it's already winning out over the anime. That's good. I haven't watched the anime myself, but I do know that everybody dies. So we're already a few points ahead of that so far. Suppose next month is going to be, we're just going to see if Akame is actually, well, not Akame, Leon, how she finishes things. And then once Honest is down, we'll probably start going into epilogue mode. I don't really see much to theorize on beyond that, because we're in climax mode at this point. Still, all the Jaegers are gone. Night Raid has still got a few people standing. We're on track to get this finished off in the next few months, I think. For now, though, I was going to go and call the review at that point. This has been Zeidoktor. A little bit flatter than usual, and I apologize for that. This has been the typical manga review of Akame Got Killed, Chapter 77, Kill Esdeath. And this time we finally did it. Good work, guys. Good work.